Chapter 1. Nutrition in Plants. Quick Feed Focus. Nutrition in Plants. Photosynthesis and its importance. Replenishing soil nutrients. You know that all living things need energy to stay alive, to grow and carry out their various life processes. They all get energy from food. Plants also need food to grow like all other living organisms. The process by which an organism takes in food is called nutrition. You know that plants can prepare their own food. Animals and human beings cannot prepare their food. They obtain food from plants or other animals. The components of food: carbohydrates, proteins, fats, mineral and vitamins are called nutrients. Nutrition in plants. Green plants are the only living things which can prepare their own food by using sunlight, water, minerals and carbon dioxide, but some plants get their food by other sources. Thus, modes of nutrition in plants are autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which an organism prepares its own food is called autotrophic nutrition. Such organisms are called autotrophs. Self-nourishment. Green plants prepare food by the process of photosynthesis. The pigment responsible for the green color of leaves is called chlorophyll, which traps the sunlight. To carry out photosynthesis, plants use carbon dioxide, water and sunlight. This reaction takes place usually in leaf or other green parts, like stem as in cactus. Carbon dioxide enters the leaves through small openings called stomata, that are present on the underside of leaves. Water, which is absorbed by roots, reaches the leaves through xylem, where it reacts with carbon dioxide in presence of sunlight to produce glucose. Oxygen gas is released in this process. 6 CO2, carbon dioxide, from air, plus 6 H2O, water, from soil, sunlight, chlorophyll, C6 hydrogen oxide, glucose, plus 6 O2 oxygen. Activity 1. To show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Take a healthy potted plant and keep it in a dark room for 3 days, so as to destarch its leaves. Pluck a leaf and put few drops of iodine on it. The leaf turned into brown, which shows the absence of starch. Now cover one of its leaves partly with a strip of black paper. Then place this potted plant in the sunlight for a few hours. Pluck the leaf covered with black strip and remove the strip. Bleach the leaf first by boiling it in water and then in alcohol. The leaf will get decolorized. Wash this discolored and place it on a flat plate, and again put a few drops of iodine solution on it. You will observe that the covered parts of the leaf will not turn blue-black, instead it will turn brown. This part could not receive sunlight, so no starch is formed here. The rest of the leaf turns blue-black, because it got sunlight and prepared food in the form of starch. Step 1. Destarching leaves by keeping a plant in dark room. Step 2. Keep the destarched plant in sunlight. Activity 2. To show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Take a variegated leaf, like coleus, or hibiscus, or croton. Bleach the leaf by first boiling it in water and then in alcohol. The leaf gets decolorized. Wash the leaf with water and place it in a dish filled with dilute iodine solution. You will notice that only green portions of the leaf turned blue-black due to the presence of starch, as they prepared food. The non-green parts will not turn blue-black. Their brown color indicates that it could not synthesize food. Thus, From the above activity, it is clear that in plants with variegated leaves, photosynthesis takes place only in the green portions of the leaves which contain chlorophyll. Photosynthesis and its importance. The photosynthesis process's importance. It is the natural process in which green plants utilize the sun's energy to prepare food. Photosynthesis enables green plants to prepare their own food which they use for their growth and survival. The extra food gets stored in the form of starch in different parts of the plant. All animals directly or indirectly depend on plants for their food. Oxygen, the essential gas for the survival of all living organisms, is released during photosynthesis. Animals and humans breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, which is used by green plants to prepare their food. Photosynthesis branches oxygen and carbon dioxide in nature. Thus, in the absence of photosynthesis, life will not be possible on the earth. Try these. Answer these questions in short. 1. Name the mode of nutrition in which an organism prepares its own food. 2. Which living things can prepare their own food? 3. What are the end products of photosynthesis? 4. From where does carbon dioxide enter the leaves? 5. What do you mean by variegated leaves? Heterotrophic nutrition. The mode of nutrition in which organisms cannot prepare their own food and depend upon other plants and animals is called heterotrophic nutrition. Such organisms are called heterotrophs. Most of the plants are autotrophs, but there are some plants that get their food from other plants and animals. Some non-green plants depends only on other plants and animals for their food are called heterotrophic plants. Heterotrophic plants are categorized as parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants shown in the flow chart given below, parasitic plants. Some plants such as cuscuta, dodder, mistletoe that depend on other plants for their food are called parasitic plants. They absorb food from green plants which are called host plants. The dodder plant produces yellow thin tubular structures which attach to the host plant and wrap around its stem and absorb food from it. In the parasitic relationship, the parasitic plant only benefits but does not kill the host plant, hence continues to live on it. Saprophytic plants. The plants like molds, mushrooms and yeast which feed on dead and decaying organic matter are called saprophytic plants. Saprophytic plants lack in chlorophyll and thus they cannot prepare their food by the process of an photosynthesis like green plants. They secrete digestive juices on the dead and decaying matter, convert them into solution and absorb nutrients from them. Hot and humid weather favors the growth of fungi. Fungi can be seen during rainy season. Have you ever seen white patches on unused things like old shoes? These white patches are fungi. You must have seen mushrooms in the market and sometime you may have eaten them. Mushroom is an edible fungi. Remember, all mushrooms are not edible. Activity 3. To grow fungi, bread mold. Take a piece of bread and sprinkle water on it. Keep it in a closed box for a few days. You will observe greenish white on it. This is due to fungal growth on it. Insectivorous plants. The plants, such as pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, sundew, which eat small insects are called insectivorous plants. They have special structures to catch their prey. These plants are green in color and can prepare their own food. They eat insects because they grow in soil which is deficient in nitrogen. They fulfill their nitrogen requirement by eating insects. In pitcher plant, the leaves are modified into a picture-like shape, which is lined with downward pointing hair, which do not allow the insects to escape. When an insect is trapped in the pitcher, it is digested by the digestive juice present in it. In sundew plant, the leaves have tentacles with droplets of a sticky substance at the ends. Insects which sit on the leaves get stuck to the sticky substance and get trapped and then consumed by the plant. In Venus flytrap, the leaves are modified into a trap. The inner surface of the leaves have short, stiff hair. When an insect comes in contact with these hair, the two lobes of the leaves get closed and insect gets trapped inside it, which is then digested with its digestive juices. Symbiotic plants. The plants which live in association with other plants and share nutrients and shelter, thereby mutually benefiting from each other, are called symbiotic plants. Such relationship between two plants is termed as symbiosis. Some examples of symbiotic association are given as follows. Lichens are the combination of fungus and green algae which live in association with each other. The fungus gets nutrients from algae and the algae gets shelter from the fungus. Some fungi live in the roots of trees. The trees provide nutrients to the fungi and the fungi provide certain nutrients from soil to trees. The roots of leguminous plants such as pea contains rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium converts atmospheric nitrogen directly into usable form for the plant, and the pea plant provides nutrients to rhizobium for its growth. Try these. Write true or false. 1. All plants can prepare their own food. 2. Venus flytrap is a parasitic plant. 3. Mushroom and yeast are saprophytic plants. 4. In lichens, a symbiotic relation exists between fungus and green algae. 5. Hot and humid weather favors the growth of fungi, replenishing soil nutrients. Farmers and gardeners add manures and fertilizers to the soil before sowing seeds. We have already learned in this chapter that plants absorb nutrients from the soil. Different plants require different nutrients to grow. Some plants takes up nitrogen while some require potassium, phosphorus etc. Once these nutrients are used up, it takes a long time to replenish them naturally. In present time, we need more crops yields to fulfill our needs. So, it becomes necessary to replenish the soil artificially by adding manures and fertilizers. These contains nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus required plants to grow well. A natural way to replenish the soil with nitrogen is through the symbiotic association of rhizobium and leguminous plants. For this reason that farmers grow leguminous plants alternately with other crops plants. Quick recap. Nutrition in plants is of two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. Green plants are called autotrophs because they can prepare their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Green plants require carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll for photosynthesis. There are four kinds of heterotrophic plants: parasitic plants, saprophytic plants, insectivorous plants and symbiotic plants. Symbiotic relation of rhizobium and leguminous plants is a natural way of replenishing nitrogen in the soil.